All right, Jules, let's continue with the love fest. Roberto De Zerbi, 6 changes. So this is not Brighton's best 11, quite
by
clearly.
far. No.
They care about the Europa League. They care about, raising the team's profile. It comes after an international break. They leave a lot of starters out.
Yeah, no Estupinan, no Evan Ferguson, no Sully March, no Billy Gilmore. The list goes on. You said 6 changes. It's maybe the B team. But again, when you've got a template of what you want to do and patterns of play that you repeat and repeat at training with everybody, your starters, your subs, your third team, the kids from the academy that come and help the first team, anyone, then it's implemented in your squad as a whole. So you can play Adingra on the right, for example, that has a really good game because you understand where he has to be depending on where the ball is. You can play Tariq Lamptey at left back, and he will also know what to do and what position to take depending on where the ball is.
Had he played left back before?
Yeah, I think I remember I've seen him maybe, but yeah, again, he's still not his position. But this is the template is so good and so strong that you can even move players out of position and they will still do a good job for you. It was helped by the fact that United were dreadful, and we're going to go back to Ten Hag after. But really incredible. And some of the football, the most important for me, I think, watching, is that even under massive pressure, I mean, again, okay, maybe not massive pressure, but under pressure, so when United try to press and try to actually run after the ball, chase the ball to get it back, that those Brighton players, and again, we're not talking about, Beckenbauer and Maldini and Baresi and then Pirlo in midfield. This was like Van Heck and Dunk and Gross, and Dahoud. They're really good players.
It's England international Lewis Dunk.
No, of course, but still, they never panicked. They were under pressure. The closer United players were coming to them, the better, the more. I mean, Jason Steele in goal, his distribution was incredible. And I'm just like, wow, okay. So not only you teach them what to do and where to be, so there's a positioning game, there's what to do with the ball, but also you said to them, hey, don't panic. They're going to come at you, let them come, and then when they're here, just find and there was always a player free. It was just remarkable, really remarkable.
What I find, and look, I'd love to heap praise on De Zerbi, but I think this is also the club's culture, which has done this so well, is some of these guys you're talking about are people who have been around the block. I mean, you mentioned Jason Steele's distribution there, right? Jason Steele's been around. Lewis Dunk has been around, right? Until they come into this kind of Brighton continuum, right, which goes before them to Graham Potter, maybe even all the way back to Chris Hughton, right?
Yeah.
They don't play like this. They play differently. They don't necessarily, they either play it safe or whatever. They're not encouraged to do certain things. They don't play with the same confidence. People have focused a lot on their recruitment, right? And fair enough, right? They've done really well there. But being able to take these players and getting them to contribute in this way, that's a coaching thing. That's a club culture thing. And that's really what I find remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, so parents who have their children in football academies, like mine or like mine I used to have, there's even at that kind of level, so top the best level in the country for youth teams under 11, 12, 10, whatever. The coach often say every time a kid gets the ball, and even the most talented kid of that Arsenal youth team or Chelsea or City or whatever, they just say, relax, because often at that young age, you get the ball and then you get a bit excited. You don't want to make a mistake. There's the other team that are going to try to come at you. And they just teach them at a very young age, like, hey, relax, you're very good with the ball. So something is going to happen. You're going to do a dribble. You're going to find a pass to anything. Just relax. Don't get like hypo or too excited. And I looked at Brighton, and for me, it's almost if De Zerbi, every time each of those Brighton players were touching the ball, he was shouting, relax, easy, take it cool. Just look around yourself and make the right decision. And they do it all the time. And yes, sometimes, of course, Holland could have scored by a few millimeters. The ball doesn't come out of play, right. And Rashford's. And you can go to that move, and there's a few mistakes made by Brighton. Of course, they're going to make mistakes. Otherwise, they would be like City, they will win the treble. But they're not. So, of course, they're not perfect. But still, what they do with the ball and very often without the ball is really, really fantastic.
I mean, I think that's been that's been part of this continuum. That's why it's worked. And we saw it with Graham Potter even before he arrived at Brighton. We saw it with the Zerbi. Okay, I didn't watch that much Shakhtar, to be honest, but I certainly saw it at Sassuolo, where he takes players who, I don't want to say are ordinary players, but they're decent, bottom half of the top flight type players. Yeah. And they try difficult things, and they pull it off, and they do difficult things on the pitch. Maybe it's the mindset, maybe it's the environment, maybe it's the patterns of play. Where
all of that.
It's a lot easier for me to pass the ball if I already know that you're making the run.
Exactly.
It becomes almost automatic, right? I gain that split second of time, which allows an average player to make the pass that really only a good player could make if it's rushed, right?
Yeah.
All these things come together, and it is pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
That said, I go back to this. I think they did have a little bit of good fortune, because if the Højlund goal goes in, it's different. Because Welbeck, not that he was lucky, but that was against the run of play, the goal that gave them the lead. And because I thought Ten Hag got a lot of things wrong here.
Completely.
I want to mention one mitigating factor that I don't accept, but I heard people talk about this because it's fun to go and, crucify the Glazers. This idea that the instability, the club, the owner, blah, 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 is affecting the players on the pitch. I don't believe that for 1 second. I don't believe it for 1 second.
Definitely not.
I don't believe it for 1 second involving Ten Hag. Ten Hag's been dealing with this for 6 months. Ten Hag knows perfectly well that even if there is a sale, it's not like it's going to happen overnight and then the new guy's going to come in and sack Erik Ten Hag. He knows there's no transfer window until January.
Yeah.
So this idea that, let's use this to explain, because, you could also, because then you'd have to explain how they managed to finish third last season as well, right? Yeah. I just think he made some choices today, or on Saturday, that I don't understand. We've run through them. The McTominay thing, for me, the logical thing would have simply been keep the same formation. Keep the formation that you've been trying to build. Rashford wide left, proper wide left. And on the right, okay, fine. So there's no Antony. And Diallo's injured or whatever. But play another guy who can pretend that he's Antony, who can make good Antony, obviously. So you keep your shape, so you don't screw up everything else, or people are accustomed. And that's what I don't understand. Now, I mean, I looked at it. Pellistri's a right-sided player, maybe obviously more defensive than Antony. But surely somebody like that is a better option than McTominay. Yeah. And then I wonder, McTominay, and maybe this is me being a little bit conspiracy theorist, has been getting a ton of good buzz, right? Over the international break. Scored that goal against Spain, some good performances. Are people all of a sudden thinking like, look,
no, he never played for United before Saturday. He was a part-time player for them. Yeah, he was playing well for Scotland every international break. I mean, we have one in September and then the ones at the end of last season. But for United, no. So suddenly, this is why I don't understand that Ten Hag going like, okay, let's change everything. Let's go for that diamond midfield. We've never played like that. It doesn't matter. I'm sure Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno can play like that. Okay, but who do we play on the right-hand side, coach? Let me think. Who do I have here? Hey, Scott McTominay, he can run, can't he? I mean, come on. What level is this? Why are we talking here? This is Manchester United. And okay, against Luton Town, maybe you can get away with it. Against Brighton, you get found out. And this is exactly what Ten Hag got. He got found out again on Saturday. And I'm sorry. What really annoys me now, Gab, it's never his fault. He was always finding excuses. Oh, it's VAR. Oh, it's the referee. Oh, it's thin margin. For a few millimeters, the ball is on. I guarantee, even if Højlund scores and it's 1-1, Brighton still win that game because they were miles better than United overall anyway. So it's never his fault. It's never him. It's never me. Never look at himself, the decisions that he made, who he picked, the formation, the system, the tactics. It's never him.
All right, I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm going to channel my inner Christopher Hitchens here and be a little contrarian. Mm-hmm. You say it's never him. This is what he says in public. Now, do you not know that in private he goes home and he says, I screwed this up, I screwed that up. Let me go beat my bald head against the wall. But in public, I have to say fine margins. I have to say it's positive to find other excuses because I want to keep the positivity, or I don't want to get the players down. I don't want to undermine my position. I don't want the players to think less of themselves. There are some managers who do that, as you know.
Yeah,
right?
Maybe. But you also talk to the United fans.
Right, but United fans aren't at Carrington working with the players.
No, I know, but the players know that he got it wrong. So who is right? He doesn't need to. The players themselves, before the game, would have listened to him, thinking like, really, we're gonna go like this against them. So by not being honest and by not saying like, I'm sorry, I got it wrong, it can happen. Pep says it sometimes. Arteta says it sometimes. Klopp says it. I mean, Klopp says that first half against Wolves was WTF. We're going to talk about that after. That clearly was not the right setup. He changed at half time. Much better. They won the game. So you can say like, sorry, I got it wrong. I mean, we can all see what he tried to do and what he did. And we can all tell him, you got it wrong. So why doesn't he admit it?
Did he maybe do it? Again, I'm trying to be a public defender of Eric Ten Hag.
Yeah. And I like Ten Hag, by the way.
Could it have been that maybe if he says, well, I got it wrong, okay, well, what did he change? Because let's face it, some of our colleagues in the punditocracy just look at the lineup. Oh, well, what did he get wrong? What did he change? Oh, he played McTominay. Oh, is he saying that McTominay's rubbish and he got it wrong because he played McTominay? And then that undermines McTominay? Could it be that maybe this is what goes on in that man's mind? I don't know.
I'll give you another one, Mr. David Advocate, right? So Brighton are 3-0 up after 71 minutes, right?
I know where you're going with
Hannibal Mejou, by the way, Paris born and bred. I love the kids. Right. Scores in the 73rd minute. Okay, so 73rd, you just scored. Hannibal has just been like with his arms, like if there was 0-0 and he just scored the opening goal. So there's some sort of, even a tiny mini, How long would you wait to bring one or two attacking players after that?
Yes, I know you're going with this.
He waited 12 minutes between the 73rd and the 85th minute to bring on Pellistri and Garnacho at the same time. Why are you waiting so long? Why? They went to the toilet? They had to go for a wee?
So,
they went to the loo? Why would you wait 12 minutes?
And this is where you struggle, right? So I would assume the answer is Garnacho is tired because he was in La Paz with Argentina.
Yeah, like you said, Lisandro Martinez was there as well.
Yeah, and in fact, I don't think Garnacho didn't start, did he?
No, I think he came on in the 85th minute.
Okay, but still, he's breathing the air and stuff, so that makes you tired, maybe. But Lisandro starts. Casemiro was also in South America. He starts, right? Yeah. I don't understand that. I don't understand the 5-minute thing unless he's got some fiendish plan. He's keeping them ready for the Champions League, which, by the way, Bayern Munich. You end up on the end of a hiding, and given the way this Munich side is playing, I don't know that that's going to happen. Things can get very ugly very, very quickly. Yeah. So it's a tough one. How do they get out of it? And I'll give you my plan for how you get out of it, right? I think I know Brighton have started well. I know Newcastle are better. Liverpool are better, at least points-wise anyway. But I think you have to remember the big picture. You're here for a plan. You're here to get this team to play a certain way, which is what got you the job, which is not the way you've been playing. You showed you can get the results. You can get the team to third place. Now, focus on growth. Even if it means sacrifice. Even if you think, in this game against Brighton, let me change my whole game plan at home to try to mess up Brighton as if you were playing Di Stefano's Real Madrid, right? Which you're not.
Yeah.
Stick with the plan. So you want to play this system with the wingers, whatever. Anthony's not there. Sancho's not there. Fine. Play Garnacho, play Pellistri, play somebody who plays that position. Keep the system intact, right? You don't have to shoehorn Eriksen into the lineup if Eriksen's not going to be part of your future, frankly. I'm not having a go at him. He's not a bad player, right? I know you need to keep the results ticking over. You finish top 4. But you know what? The reality is, of course, you have money to spend. You can keep strengthening the squad. The fact of the matter is, it would be great to finish top 4. It's more important right now that United grow so that maybe next year they'll be competitive. But competitive for the title, competitive back at the level United need to be. I don't like him when he makes these decisions, whether it's being defensive and playing on the counter, which we see sometimes, or scrapping his playbook. Hey, dude, this is not what they hired you for.
No, I know. And you know what, on Saturday, and I know Rashford got a bit of criticism because I think he shot so many times, and it looked like the plan was give the ball to Marcus and then let's see. And I'm sorry, this is just not, again, this is not good enough. And Rashford maybe went too solo in this game. But again, I don't think there was much options around him, full stop, in terms of movement even. Because also the problem with your diamond midfield is that Haaland and Rashford were the two up front, really.
Right.
And then after that, okay, McTominay can run, but playing in that position, I mean, I didn't really enjoy that for him. Was not going to give you much. Your fullbacks, I mean, one was Reguilon, okay, he didn't do too badly, I guess. But Dalot, the other one, hardly went forwards. It's just
because he's freaking out over Mitoma.
Yeah,
That's why.
but
Dalot, you're there because you're an attacking fullback. If you're going to do that, then but why go and ask him to do these things that they don't naturally do?
I know.
This is the part I don't understand. And you made a great point about the soloists. Obviously, they have another soloist in the team, is Bruno Fernandes, right? And it's great when they go and carry you, and you need to cater to your individuals who can go off script. But when your game plan is basically those two guys inventing something out of nothing,
exactly.
or a set piece,
yeah.
that's when you're in trouble, especially at home, especially against a team like Brighton.